Hey guys, so in today's video, I just wanted to make a quick video to respond to this question really quick. And it has to do with the difference between sleep tech training and medical assistant training. And I had somebody leave a comment on one of my recent videos, and I think it was actually titled Sleep Tech versus MA Training, or sleep tech training versus MA training, something like that. Well, anyway, the question was, which one did I personally find the most challenging? And so I will tell you that, so I think that they're both challenging in their own ways. I feel like the medical assistant training took a longer period of time, but knowledge-wise, the sleep tech training was more intense. So I feel like you learn a lot more in medical assistant training than you do in sleep tech training. Obviously, because as a medical assistant, you are dealing with a wide variety of conditions and knowledge that you have to have, even though it's basic knowledge on both parts. Medical assistant covers a much wider range of things, and so I feel like you have to be able to learn much more information. But again, my medical assistant program was 16 weeks long, and my sleep tech training was a week of virtual classes and then 2 days of hands-on like practice, hooking people up for sleep studies and things like that. So I do feel like knowledge-wise, the sleep tech training was much more intense. However, medical assistant training is a much more or a much wider variety of information. So personally, the most challenging mentally was sleep tech training. But again, like I said, I think it's going to depend on the person. If you are somebody who likes to learn and loves to learn things about the brain, things about like a lot of in-depth information about one particular subject, I would recommend sleep tech training, just because it is like everything you need to know to start out as a sleep tech with sleep tech training. But if you want to learn a little bit about kind of everything and like the most common medical conditions and vital signs and things like that, then I would definitely say that medical assisting is more for you. It's just going to depend on the person, like I said, and there are a number of reasons why I feel like sleep tech training is a little bit more intense than medical assistant training. I've kind of gone over this in a couple different videos. I do feel like medical assistant training can be intense depending on the program and depending on how you're learning. But for the most part, I feel like the most challenging would be sleep tech training, because it is kind of difficult to learn different things. And I will tell you that working as a sleep tech is a little bit subjective in multiple ways also. Like, for example, when you are learning how to score sleep studies and stage sleep stages, it is subjective. There is a lot of subjective information because you have to basically interpret the brainwaves of someone while they're asleep. And someone who is sitting right next to you looking at the same sleep study could think that, okay, well, there's not quite enough of this type of wave going on, so we can't put this as stage 3, but oh, there's a K complex, so it's stage 2. Or the person, you might be looking at it and say that's not big enough to be a K complex, so it can't be stage 2. There's a whole lot of like subjective things. Like, you have to take into consideration that these are human beings that are scoring and staging these sleep studies. And so what you see might not be the exact same as what someone else sees. And so it's just important to keep that in mind, that just because you see something differently than someone else does not necessarily mean that your opinion is wrong or their opinion is wrong. It's just a lot of subjective information. And so, like I said, you just have to keep that in mind. but I would have to be on the side that sleep tech training is a little bit more difficult or more intense or challenging than medical assistant, because like I said, you're going way in depth on sleep medicine and things that you will use in your daily life as a sleep tech, whereas with medical assistant, you're kind of getting a brief overview of kind of all of the most common illnesses and diseases and anatomy and physiology of the different systems. Which I guess if you've never worked in healthcare before, that might be a little bit difficult for you, but I have worked in healthcare since 2016, starting out as a CNA, and even a little bit before that, I worked as a CNA. Well, I didn't work as a CNA, I did clinicals when I was in LPN school that I never finished in 2008 as well, so I've kind of been around the block when it comes to healthcare stuff. So anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope that answered your question. If you guys have any other questions or topics you would like me to discuss on my channel in the future, please be sure to let me know. And I am going inside, so I will talk to you guys in my next video.